Hello, everybody. Welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and this is my A Song of Ice and Fire lore series, and we're going to talk about Steely Pate. So let's go. How's it going? Welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and yeah, just another Saturday morning, just another A Song of Ice and Fire character, and we're going to head back to Duncan Egg. We've covered so many Hedge Knight characters, Raymond Fossaway, Baelor Targaryen, other ones. And now we're going to cover Steely Pate. So what's going on here? Pause it, read it. Thank you. Welcome back. So yeah, let's get into Steely Pate. Blacksmith? Ibbenese? We're going to get to that. Everyone's like, yeah, Ibbenese. Wait. We'll get to the story, and then we'll talk about this. Talk about it. Calm down. Just get out of the comments for now. There's comment. I like comments. All right. So Steely Pate was a blacksmith in the Reach during the reign of Daeron II Targaryen. The Steely Pate was a short man with huge hands. He stood at no more than 5 feet tall. His smith's neck, chest, and arms were covered in coarse black hair, and he had a black beard. The blacksmith wore a short leather cloak. A sword and anvil were painted on the side of his wagon. Cool. Pate was proud of his steel, which was plain looking but strong. Sir Duncan the Tall did not consider the armor humble. He's not a humble guy. He's not a humble guy. But you know what? If you're proud of your work, you don't need to be humble, right? I'm proud of my work sometimes. What do you guys think? Should I remain humble, dude? Your stuff needs work. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So, Ashford Meadow. So this is when we meet him. Duncan Egg, Hedge Knight. We're gonna meet him at the Ashford Meadow. You guys know what's going on here. Spoilers for Hedge Knight if you don't know what's going on in Duncan Egg, because I'm going to spoil the crap out of it. I am. All right. Ashford Meadow. The tourney at Ashford Meadow was a tourney hosted by House Ashford at Ashford Meadow. Imagine that. In 209 AC. Lord Ashford staged a tourney to celebrate his daughter's 13th name day. This brought many knights to Ashford to win a place as a champion. Along with the knights came puppeteers for entertainment and services such as merchants and blacksmiths. And among these men were Steely Pate down at the end of the row. That's where he was. Once at the tourney grounds, Dunk is forced to sell Sweetfoot, one of his horses, eventually, and Sir Arlen's old armor, eventually, in order to acquire armor of his own. He finds Steely Pate in search of new armor. I don't know why I brought up the horse and getting rid of his old armor already, because that like comes up in the story. But I don't know. Sometimes, writing is more art than grammar. Steely's Steel. Sir Duncan the Tall approached Steely's shop, impressed by the armor on display, and he goes, "You do good work." No, that's not a good dunk. All right, think tall, think dunk, flea bottom. You do good work. No, all right, sorry, I tried, guys. You do good work, Dunk complimented. None better. Let's see, I do a good Steely. Steely agreed. After sizing up the small man, Dunk asked for a full set of armor, including chainmail and a great helm. Steely sized the tall man back, saying, "You're a big one, but I've armored bigger." Who? Who did Steely Pate armor that was bigger than Sir Duncan the Tall? Some big guys out there. Holy crap. He then instructed Dunk to kneel so he can measure his shoulders, neck, arms, and legs. He then offers some armor from his wagon. Nothing prettied up with gold or silver, mind you, just good steel. Strong and plain, and I make helms that look like helms, not winged pigs and queer foreign fruits. But mine will serve you better if you take a lance to the face. He claims. Steely says it's for 800 silver stags. says it's on 800. God, man. He wants to get 800 silver stags, but Dunk offers his own armor, right? So that's Arlen and Penetree's armor. And then he agrees on 600 stags with Dunk's armor. Dunk gives him 2 silvers to hold the armor until he can go sell his horse. See, I don't know why I brought up the horse and armor in the slide before, because now he got rid of his armor and now he's going to go get his horse, come back. So I'm not telling you guys the story of Hedge Knight. That's not my purpose here. I'm telling you Steely's thing in it. If you don't know what about all that's going on in Hedge Knight, go listen to Hedge Knight. Come back. I'll give you a little recap of just Steely's thing. So I brush over the main story of it because that's how this video is, right? This is about Steely Pate. Okay, cool. All right, I already did that one. This one. There. Dunk in trouble. Duncan sold the palfrey Sweetfoot to Henley so that he could afford the armor. He returns to Pate to pick up his armor. Dunk is greatly impressed by the steel. Later in the tourney, Prince Arian Targaryen sees puppeteers performing the show about the dragon, and it takes an issue with the dragon's death, calling it treason. Arian has the puppets destroyed by his men-at-arms. Dunk's squire, Egg, had been in the show or at the show. He runs to Dunk to tell him that Arian was hurting Tanzel, good old Tanzel Toothall. Dunk arrives in time to see Arian breaking one of Tanzel's fingers and comes to her rescue, punching the dumb prince in his dumb face and kicking him. Not liking being beat up, Arian has him taken prisoner for striking a royal prince. Pate remade Duncan's oaken shield and had it painted by Tanzel, the too tall puppeteer. So later Dunk comes back to get his shield and armor and stuff after he was like in prison, and then they agreed on a trial of 7 and all this stuff. Pate doesn't know any of that, and now Dunk's showing up to then get his armor because he is about to be in a trial of 7. So then Pate goes, "If you come for your shield, she left it with me." He looked Dunk up and down, 2 hands and 2 feet I count. So a trial by combat it is? So he's like, dude, you're not dead. So I'm assuming you're doing a trial of 7. And he is! Trial of 7. See, told you. Dunk later agrees to the trial of 7 and is forced to gather champions. The short Harry Smith accompanied Duncan to the trial of 7 to watch and support the tall Hedge Knight. The fighting is fierce, but Dunk, resorting to his base instincts, grapples Arian and overpowers him, forcing the prince to yield. Dunk, badly hurt, sees that both Humphreys were killed, 2 of the king's guards were knocked unconscious, and Egg... Okay, yeah. So I'm like glossing all the way over to the trial of 7. Go check out my Baelor Breakspear Targaryen video or my Raymond Fossaway video if you want a little bit more about all that's happening during the trial of 7. This is like, again, I'm kind of brushing over it. So, yeah. So, Steely Pate, Egg, and Raymond Fossaway help Dunk remove some of his armor, and Steely goes, "Look what he done to my armor." And he keeps talking after that, but I just like that one. Steely complained, looking at the destroyed armor. Dunk lays down from his injuries and sees Prince Baelor Targaryen, who fought for Dunk, standing over him. The prince summons his maester to tend to Dunk, and the Hedge Knight tells Baelor that he is his man. It's a really amazing scene. And this is what I'm spoiling, so please don't be here if you don't know how this ends. But yeah, he's like all messed up, and somebody's like, we need, and everyone's like, oh, we should pour burning oil into his wounds because Dunk's hurt. And Baelor's like, wine, oil would kill him. Let's just get my maester. Can somebody please help me with my helmet, please? So he asks Sir Raymond Fossaway to help him with his helmet, and then because Raymond can't get the helmet off, he asks Steely Pate. So where was I? The Hedge Knight Yeah, it says that he is his man. So yeah, so Dunk is like, I'm your man, is what he says right after that. And then Baylor is kind of mumbling and acting goofy, and he says his fingers feel like what. So Sir Raymond Fosway and Steely Pate try to take off Baylor's helm, but the great prince's head is caved in, and Steely goes, Gods be good. He says more, but it's like, yeah, Gods be good. Oh, God's preserve. He said something like that. Steely prayed as Baylor's brain or part of it fell out of his skull. Up, up, Dunk called. That's the end of the book, man. Oh man, that ending is something. But Steely is there. A lot of people forget whose arms did Baylor Breakspear Targaryen die in? Good old Steely Pate. This is a short little Harry Smith. Memories of Steely. So this is our final slide before we get into our other final slide. Way later on in the third book, Duncan lost his armor, sword, and horse to Thunderer when he lost to Sir Uthor Underleaf in a wedding tourney at White Walls. Uther was dismissive of the armor's quality, but Duncan defended it. He's like, it was made by Steely Pate, bro. You gotta recognize before you gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's what he said. That's what Dunk said. It's a quote straight from the book. Later, Duncan paid his ransom to Uthor with gold loaned by Lord Brendan Rivers. Hey, go read the third book too. Who was grateful to Duncan for his help in suppressing the Second Blackfire Rebellion. Well, that's happened in that third book. But yeah, he just thought about, somebody was talking crap about Steely Pate's armor, and he's like, it's Steely Pate's armor. Watch it. So yeah. So let's get into what everyone wants to talk about. Ibbenese. This was a request from Lucas Garrios. I'm sorry for ruining your name. You commented a lot of my stuff, and thank you for your comment and your suggestion. And yeah, I got to cover Steely Pate. I'm pretty happy about it from here on YouTube. So yeah. So the fandom usually refers to Steely as an Ibbenese man, the short D&D dwarfs from the island of Ib. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, in Essos, there's an island named Ib, and the Ibbenese are people from that island, and they are pretty much like stereotypical D&D dwarfs. They are short, they are wide, stocky, and they are hairy with big, huge beards. And they're like, you hear about like Ibbenese whaling ships a lot. And I believe there's an Ibbenese man who's part of the Brave Companions, and they'll kind of show up here and there. But this is like, there isn't really a lot of like big characters. I'm not meaning height, but like important characters from Ib in the books. Yeah, we might actually get some, right? So it's casually spoken that that he is Ibbenese, and I was actually surprised to find out that is never stated in the book or anywhere I can find. It's not actually stated anywhere that Steely Pate is Ibbenese. I'm even pretty sure in the comment that suggested him said, hey, you should cover Steely Pate, the Ibbenese Smith from Dunk and Egg. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. He was Ibbenese. That's super cool. And I listened to it. And I was like, yeah, duh. I re-listened to it. And then I started doing research. It's not stated in Dunk and Egg. As you can see by some of the art I used from the Hedge Knight comic, he looks less Ibbenese here. He is still short and stocky, right? But, it's not quite D&D dwarf like this depiction is. So we're not, like, a lot of people just say it like it's fact, and I don't see anywhere in actual official sources that he's Ibbenese. So yeah, anywhere I can find. So Tinkanola, there we go. On Reddit speculates that he is the Dwarven Smith stereotype. Go check out Tinkanola's Reddit post about Steely Pate if you want to actually see this full Reddit post I'm quoting here. And I completely agree that he is the Dwarven Smith stereotype. And I see that artists also agree with a lot of the art, not most, but a lot of the art depicting him as like an Ibbenese man, like the one I'm showing here. And depicting him as an Ibbenese Smith or something similar. So I find it weird that it wasn't stated during the book, and I think it would have been noted by Doug if he was Ibbenese. I think in the book, if he was actually Ibbenese, Dunk would say something. Maybe not. You might argue, well, Dunk doesn't know what an Ibbenese man looks like. He doesn't know about Ib. He's just Dunk of Flea Bottom. And you might be right. That's an argument I'm gonna believe. But I just find it really weird that this is like kind of our biggest character, again, not height, who is possibly like this whole other race of man, Ibbenese, and he's never stated to be Ibbenese. So maybe he's just short, and the fandom just kind of assumed. But anyways, I was actually kind of hesitant on covering Steely Pate because I was like, wait, he's not Ibbenese. I'm going to cover the Ibbenese character that everybody wants. And I was like, but he's not. What am I supposed to do? So I actually kind of pushed it off because I wasn't really sure how to cover him. But I feel like I did it right. So I think his character was meant to be Ibbenese, but it's really weird that Dunk never brought it up. All right, I'm done talking about it. This is Steely Pate. Thanks for the suggestion. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Just some, not trying to make height jokes, but just it's nice to cover a small character for change. That's not what I mean. He doesn't have too much. And it's always cool to go back and cover a Duncan Egg character. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. If you've never subscribed, please comment. What do you think of Steely Pate? And, yeah, that's it. Let's go. I got nothing. Don't go wreck Steely Pate's armor. What a great name, Steely Pate. All right. Peace.